Hi, how are you? I had to restart again. Somebody was delivering something and it's some thunderstorms here. So it's a rainy day today. How are you doing? So today's topic is, would you skydive? Okay. I'm wearing my skydiving t-shirt that we got or did in 2019. And the reason I'm talking about skydive is not because of the t-shirt. Well, it could be because of the t-shirt. It's also because one of the topics I wanted to talk about was how to overcome fear. All right, so the question is, would you skydive? Let me know, yes or no, or maybe. All right, and so of course, would I skydive? Well, I've done it, yes, but in certain conditions, I was kind of like forced to do it, isn't it? Would I want to do it myself? I think you have the urge that you want to do it, but to actually do it is like, oh man, So how did I overcome that fear? All right, so I've actually written this on a post, back in 2019. So it's too far back to find out. Maybe if I find the link, I'll add the link there, and you can read it. So I think fear is, if you look at it very simply, it really is that you're afraid of something, isn't it? Like if somebody says, oh, there's a sound there and it's dark at night, you probably be a little bit of afraid, and you don't know what's over there. But let's say you know what's there, right? And maybe a cat runs out. Then you say, oh, it's a cat. Oh, well, so before you know that it was a cat, you were afraid. I was afraid, right? But when the cat came out, they said, oh, it's a cat. Then you're not afraid. So what was the difference? Well, the difference is because you know it's a cat. You have that information, you have that knowledge, you know what it is. So if you know what it is, you then probably wouldn't be afraid, right? So I can't generalize this for all fear, but I think that a lot of fear comes from not knowing what it is, the uncertainty. Like a lot of people are afraid of, what's going to happen in the future because it's uncertain. Because if you're absolutely certain, you probably wouldn't be afraid. So I guess the way to overcome fear is to get more information, right? Or get the perfect information, know everything there is, right? So if we know everything there is, then we don't have to fear, right? So that's in general. So for me, skydiving was, of course, was I scared? Yeah, of course, I'd be lying if I said I wasn't scared. I am very scared. I'm scared of fear. So if I was to go to a tall building, let's say 3 stories or 4 stories, how many of you, from 3 stories, 4 stories, looking down, your hands get cold and your feet get cold? How many of you feel that? So I still do it. I look down, even from up here, from the veranda. I look down, my hands get cold, my legs get cold, right? But when I skydive, I was jumping off 15,000 feet, 15,000 feet, So of course, once JE, we were planning to go to New Zealand, and they said, okay, and she searched, oh, it's a great place to skydive, and then she says, okay, let's go skydive, and I said, okay, because if she's gonna skydive, I have to skydive too, isn't it? So that's what a dad has to do, isn't it? So we went ahead, looked at the package, and then decided and paid. So the thing is, once you pay and you confirm that you paid, the fear kind of goes away a little bit. It's like, oh, confirm it. Because before you decide, you can say opt out or opt in, isn't it? But once she paid, it's like, oh, confirm already. There's no way to run, right? So sometimes being forced to do it, in a sense, that means you committed to do it. You kind of reduce that fear a little bit, right? So when things are more certain, you get to reduce a little bit fear. So anyway, of course, Casey's not going to be very happy with that. Of course, she says, "Hey, is this, have you checked? Have you done your research?" And me being me, I'm not that kind of guy. I just go ahead and do it. But the more she talked about this, the more I had to do some research. So so went to do some research and just, risk of death of skydiving, you know, and then how do they do it, all that kind of stuff, and read other people's experiences, and I found out that skydiving is safer than driving. Yeah, safer than driving. You die. The chances of dying in driving is higher than skydiving. You say, oh, that's pretty good. So that piece of information kind of put me at ease a little bit. I mean, you can still die, but a little bit less. Hi, Yvonne. So okay, then we search on more information, right? I realized that every time you jump, you got two parachutes. So if one fails, you got another one. So, that's good. That's good. Of course, I wasn't jumping alone, so I was jumping with an instructor, right? So an instructor. So that gave some assurance. Because you're not jumping your first time. I don't think people jump in the first time as well. So the more information I got, the more at ease I was still scared. Okay, but the more at ease you have. I mean, I don't think I could ever get okay with jumping from any height. Hi, Glenda. And I'm talking about skydiving today, all right, and how I overcome the fear. So the date came. We flew to New Zealand. We went traveling, and then we eventually got to the place. Of course, day by day we get more and more scared, isn't it? Oh my God, it's jumping. It's tomorrow. What to prepare, all right? So it's like mental anguish. It was torture, like for a couple of days before the jump. So it was nice. They came with a limousine. They took us to the place. We had to sign like some indemnity forms on an iPad, right? So we got there. They let us see the video, and then we were assigned the instructor, and the tandem instructor. So I meet with him, and he says, "Oh, hi, how so I'm your tandem instructor," and I asked him, "So how many times have you done this?" Because I was afraid. And of course he was joking. He said, "Oh, I just joined yesterday." So, I mean, they kind of add humor, make you feel better and that. And so along the way, he explained to me where this, where that, and then a third party, someone else came and checked everything. So it was pretty good. There was a third party checking everything, And then we got on the plane, and then the plane wasn't a very comfortable plane. It was just an airplane with empty, all right? And its seats are like a bench, 2 lines, because there were other people jumping. Me and Jay were jumping at the highest one. Most were jumping at 12,000 feet. Jay and I were jumping at 15,000 feet. So we set, and then, and it flew off. They even have a thing to check your pulse, So mine was like 100 something, 130, I think, and his was like 78. The instructor was 78. I was 130, and so he kept making jokes. It was good, and he'll tell everything like, okay, I'm gonna tighten this, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this, so you move forward. So every step of the way he told you. So of course it made you feel good because of his information. I didn't know what to expect, so he'll tell you what to do. So there was a guide and a coach that tell you that. So actually, we didn't jump that flight. We had to come down again because there's too many clouds, and then we had to go up again. Can you imagine? You're so scared, you're going up there, and you go down again, and then you go up again. So that kind of fear was up and down, up and down. All right. So eventually, we got up to 12,000 feet, and I said, "Oh, is it our turn?" He says, "No, we're going up some more. We're going above the clouds." At that time, it's only me and Jay, right? And then we had the tandem instructor and also a photographer, as a video photographer. No choice, Jay jumped first, and then I was like, scooting along the way. We can't stand up to the opening, and then you have to, and okay, you're there already. You have no choice, right? So yes, I'm scared. Okay, was I shivering? No, I think I was more excited. So getting there, well, sometimes you don't know if you're scared or excited because it feels the same, isn't it? Right? Jump there, you can see down there. I think the moment, the excitement, the fear, kind of, some could paralyze you, but yet I just went with the flow. I think the only way was to jump out. You can't go back anymore, isn't it? So, and then lean back. Everything was tight. Everything was good. He was talking to you all the way, and then you gotta lean back on his shoulder, and he leans forward. You hold your own thing, because if you're not holding your own harness, you'll be grabbing stuff, right? So you're holding your own harness, you lean back and you fall in. Yes, I think in the first 6-10 seconds, it was like, oh my God, But it's strange that after 6 or 10 seconds, you don't feel anything anymore. It's the initial fall that you start to feel the acceleration of fall because of gravity fall. But up to a certain point, like 6 to 10 seconds, it felt like you were floating. You're floating, you could change angles, you could turn. You are falling down. The wind is gushing up. You can feel it, but you don't feel like falling. You're floating. So that's terminal velocity. You come to a point where your speed is the same. And then the same. So at that point, you're not feeling falling. You're falling, but you don't feel like falling. I'm not sure if that makes sense. So the rest of it was 60 seconds of free falling, and then the parachute, and then all that kind of stuff. But I think the fear was the first 6 seconds, 10 seconds. After that, it's okay. You get used to it. You're falling, but you don't feel the acceleration anymore. So you don't feel like the roller coaster coming down. All right. So that was it. So the whole thing that I was afraid of for the past month or how many weeks before the thing, was that 6 seconds of fear. That looking down, oh my God, jumping down 6 seconds. But after 6 seconds, it was like floating. It was enjoyable. You were floating and you're looking up and you could do signs. It was, hey, hi, you can do all sorts of things. But it wasn't scary anymore, right? And you kind of float down. So was I scared? Absolutely. Was it the whole way down? No, it was just 6 seconds. Would I do it? Yes, I would. I would do it again, because it's only 6 seconds, isn't it, right? So I think, with more information that we get, the more uncertainty we reduce. And the more uncertainty we reduce, the more confident we are, and the more fearless we become. All right? So that's my experience of skydiving. Might be a bit long today, but I hope that helps you kind of handle fear. So if you are afraid of anything, get as much information as possible. If you don't understand anything, well, just Google it, isn't it? There's YouTube videos and everything. And I look at this and I reflect back on my business or what I do, and I think, yeah, I was fearful when I joined this. I didn't know what to expect. But the thing is, I had a good instructor, a good coach. I had a good team, a good support team. I had a lot of information because it was all widely available. And it was credible, New York listed. Similar as when you're jumping, you want credible information. As a company just new, has been there for a few years. So with more information, you become less afraid and you become more confident. So that's how I kind of look at things, So anyway, I hope it helps. I hope that, skydiving is scary, but there may be more scarier things, like maybe giving birth. It's tough, and shout out to all women. But I think sometimes we scare ourselves too much, because sometimes we don't want to go and find the information. But I think if we find the information, we get more clear, and we get less scared. All right. So I hope that helps today. For you. If you have anybody who is afraid of stuff, or afraid of skydiving, who wants to go skydiving one day, maybe not now, but one day, shout out to Lake Taupo skydiving team. They're awesome, professional. Unfortunately, they're out of business already. They shut down earlier this year. But do skydive if you get a chance to do it, right? It's gonna change your life. It's gonna let you have a different perspective about things, and you're like reborn. All right. Hope you enjoyed that sharing today. Share it with friends, and thank you for dropping by. I'll see you in a couple of days. Okay. Take care now. Bye bye. Hi, Hong Ling. Hi, Zach. Okay, take care.